Excellent, excellent, excellent. Welcome, everybody. And now I am pleased to have Kai and Stephen come on up, and let's give them a rousing, warm welcome. And they're going to tell you about the project they're working on.
Hey guys, how's it going? Start with introductions. My name's Stephen Cardinal. I originally moved to Fairfield in 2005 to go to MUM, and then moved away, moved back, came back in 2016, and then I'll pick it up from there after we do another introduction over here.
My name's Jai Purdy. I went to MUM, came in 2006, 1 year after Stephen, and we met, became best friends, and kind of met up around the world here and there, and I ended up coming back about 4 years ago to help with this project.
Yeah, so Jai and I met at MUM 2006, became fast friends, and then it was like, yeah, let's, we always stayed in contact no matter where we were in the world. We actually both ended up moving to Maui, lived in the same house, and it was really fun. We both got really cool jobs while we were living there on Maui, and every time we would be hanging out at night, we'd be like, man, these jobs are cool, and there's really cool things happening here, lots of ideas that are really cool that are happening in these places. And we never ever forgot about Fairfield. Like, Fairfield's always been in our heart. Fairfield was like, even though we were on Maui, like, oh yeah, this is so great, we'd be like, if we're gonna move back to the mainland, it'll probably be Fairfield, Iowa. And look, here we are. So, so we were there enjoying ourselves, doing these different jobs, talking about, oh, this would be so cool if we could bring this back to Fairfield. Fairfield would love it. And then fast forward to 2016, boom, here we are. We're back in Fairfield. I am, at least. Jai comes back a couple years later. So I moved back to Fairfield, and I met a person here in town named Alex Stanley. Alex Stanley was kind of going through some stuff in his life. He had just lost his wife, and so he was kind of feeling a little lost. He didn't know what to do. And so we became friends, and I was just literally trying to help Alex find his passion. He needed to, direct his energy someplace. So we figured out that Alex is really passionate about audio equipment and music. He followed the Grateful Dead. He was one of those people that, recorded the Grateful Dead, and stuff like that. So he had a cool, little past with that kind of stuff. So he was like, I was sharing with him all these different ideas that I had and, had experienced on Maui. And these little, I had a little book of ideas that was like, if we could just do this here, I think we would be really successful and we could have a lot of fun with it. And so I kept sharing these ideas with Alex, and then we were figuring out he likes audio stuff. So we're trying to put these two ideas together. And then we realized, hey, I think we're kind of creating a community center, basically, with these ideas. So we were trying to then find a space that we could house all these different ideas into. So we looked at different places in town, looked at different places, and then we found the Armory across the street. And it had been sitting vacant for a couple decades. There was plans for making it into condos or something like that, but didn't really happen, didn't really manifest. So we bought it, and we've had it for 4 years, and we've been working our tushies off on that project. People ask, why is it taking so long on this project? We got the building, and there's a lot of foundational stuff that was we had to address with the building. We'd peel this layer back of paint, and then we'd realize the foundation's missing. And everyone would be like, don't walk. It's just so there was years of just foundationally redoing this whole building so that we could have it for a new purpose, because it was built for one purpose, and now we're creating a new purpose for it to have, so it took a lot of re-engineering that space. So now we're just finally getting to the part where we're doing finishing work, and where it's oh, look, there's actual walls, or not just a bunch of studs, and you just look through the whole entire building. So we're getting there. So thank you for your patience. So yeah, it was Alex's passion, our ideas. It was put them together. We feel like we have something that we could do here. And we decided we're going to create this community center. So on the day-to-day, throughout the week, we'll be a community center. We'll be able to host people. We hope to be kind of like a third space for Fairfield. Is everyone familiar with third spaces? Anyone not familiar with third spaces? Okay, so third space, I guess Starbucks kind of coined this term, and it's not home and it's not work, but it's someplace you can hang out in between. You know, you just want to go and you just want to chill. You just want to be there, you know, so you can be there with your friends. So we want to be that space for Fairfield. We want to be a place where you can just come, hang out. If you want to buy something, hopefully you do, that'd be great. But we have enough space over there that you can just hang out. You can find a corner. You can like bring your friends. You can have a meeting. You could do your homework. You could have a meal. You could go and just find a quiet space and read a book, dream. I really want people to come into this space and dream. And because it's going to take your guys' dreams to fill up this space, because we're making the space happen, but we need you guys to come in there and fill it up with what you guys want to be doing. So when you come in and you check it out and you're like, oh, wow, this is cool. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do that. Maybe we could work together somehow synergistically. That's my hope for this community in this project. So that's one of the main things. It's we're a community center on the day-to-day. And then because of Alex and his passion for music and the audio equipment, we will be set up to, hey, let's host some really awesome, amazing musicians or speakers or whatever kind of person who wants to come through and present on our stage what they want to do. Alex has invested high-end audio equipment from Germany. It's like we're going to be one of the only places in the country that has this audio equipment. Sorry, how's it going? So for the size of the building, we've acoustically treated it. It'll be one of the best sounding spaces in the country for the size of it is, you know? So there's not a bad seat in the house. You're gonna get in there and you're gonna be like, wow, like wherever you wanna stand or sit, you have a great view. When you're the artist in there, you're gonna sound amazing. You're gonna look really good. So that's the hope for the artists when they come here. It's like, I would love it if we could have these amazing artists come to town, perform for us. Maybe we have a capacity of 700 to 900. It'll be awesome for those 700 to 900 people in there. But what's in it for the artist? You know, so we have to make it worth it to the artist to come all the way to our little Fairfield, Iowa, you know? So we want to be able to stream every performance live, and that way we can present to people all around the world. Hey, look what this band is doing. Look what this person is doing, what they're talking about, what kind of information they want to deliver, you know? So we can have a streaming platform for everyone here. We can also then provide, if a band comes through and they're like, hey, I don't want to stream, but I would like to have access to the video and the audio that, you know, I just did tonight. Well, we can sell them the package of their audio, you know, file and their video file. And now they can release it however they want to release it. But we can have it on our, you know, for our profiles too, for like YouTube or whatever we want to distribute it. So, yeah, we're working on that. So we want to be able to host local acts, regional acts, national acts, international acts. You know, we hope to be able to, by word of mouth, you know, band to band, when word gets out on the street, that's like, hey, you sound really amazing over here. You want to go over there and do a show because you want to get the recording. You want to get your name out there, you know. So that's our hope for the bands. You know, obviously we're going to enjoy it, but we want the bands to come and enjoy it too. So it's like that's the hope for them, that it'll be enticing for them. So that'll be kind of like on the weekends, you know. That'll be like on the weekend kind of thing. We'll have, you know, shows going on over there. Maybe once a month we'll have a big act where people are like, oh my goodness, did you get your ticket? Because it's sold out. You know, like hopefully we have a lot of those throughout the year, you know. So it's like that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm going to kind of transition into the amenities of the space. The amenities that we have over there, we have a restaurant space. We're calling it the Bistro. Just to let you know, our place is called the Blue Rose. So it's the Blue Rose. We'll have the Blue Rose Ballroom, and then we have the Blue Rose Bistro. And they're the same thing. They're one entity, but with, you know, kind of, the ballroom is going to be more of like the place where we host on the weekend kind of things, you know, and then the Bistro is going to be the more day-to-day kind of business spot. So we have the bistro side, we have the ballroom side, we have second floor, we have art galleries, and we have class spaces for rental. There could be meeting spaces anywhere in the building, practice spaces. We'll be able to stream live for any performances in there. So another thing that we want to talk about is the goals for our business. One of the original ideas when I was talking to Alex about this is like, we love the farmers market. We love going to the farmers market especially in the summertime. In the wintertime, it starts to kind of a little bit. And so we really want to keep Fairfield's farmers market kind of alive, and happening and vibrant. So we would love to be able to host it in our space. We have plenty of space. We have plenty of plugins and outlets for people to do things. You could people watch on the second floor if you wanted to. We could have someone up on the stage, open mic, kind of event, or poetry, or reading a story, or whatever, just community sharing. But we would really like for the winter farmers market to be as vibrant and happening as the summer's farmers market, so I think that would be a lot of fun. We want to provide a safe space for families to come and hang out and to be in. So we will have a liquor license, but we will not be serving alcohol on the daily. It'll be like if we have a party, a wedding situation, whatever kind of like that, we will have the liquor license to be able to do that. But on the day-to-day, we want to be able to be a place where you can bring your kids, you can come hang out, you can order something for them. Everything's like family friendly in the space. So. But we will have the flexibility to, zhuzh it up a little bit and have some nice cocktails if we wanted to, at night. Also, it was kind of brought up to us that this might be a wedding destination space, so we're kind of trying to figure that out too, how to manage that as part of our venue. That'd be a lot of fun. But another thing that really inspired this whole project was when Ragbri came through town last time, and you guys will have to help me remember, sometime between 2016 and 2018. 2019 was when they came through. Fairfield got descended on by how many people? 10,000 plus people on our downtown right here. It was amazing. I came down here and I'm just like, wow, look at all these people, just and every restaurant on the square had lines out the door. With restaurants, you normally never hardly see anything going on there. And I was so happy for all these restaurants. And I was just thinking why can't Fairfield do that for themselves? We need to be able to do that for ourselves. We can't just wait for Ragbri to come back through. So me and my buddy, we went to the Chamber of Commerce. That happened on a weekend. We went on Monday, and we actually walked in and was like, hey, can we help do some kind of festival, something like that? And they were like, we're getting ready to do this bicycle festival. And we were like, we ride our bikes to work. And they were like, do you want to do the festival? And we were like, sure. So we helped them do that. And so that was a lot of fun. And then this project started taking off. So I had to abandon that and then just put all my energy on this. But I see Fairfield as a place with so much diversity and so much creativity of people that we need to synergize our energies, because it's we could do something over there, be independent, and just be okay, we're going to do our own little thing. But that's not really how we want to operate. We want to operate to make this whole town rise together. So it's we need to synergistically work with the Collective and Sodenheim Center and the Orpheum Theater, get that place back up, get Paradiso and Morning Star Studio and Phoenix Rising and the Golden Magnolia, get all these people synergistically together in one room, and then be okay, what kind of festival do we want to do? Do we want to do a fermented foods festival? Do we want to do a blues festival? Do we want to do a film festival, a comedy festival, a wellness festival? What do we want to do? Let's do it. Let's decide as a community and support each other. And so that's the idea, with the main idea for this space. Because when we moved to Fairfield originally, the art walk was happening. It was a really cool thing. It was there was the Italian Fest. That was so much fun. It was why can't we have that kind of vibe here again, on a monthly basis if we wanted to, or a seasonal basis, So there's so much talent here in this town that I believe that we could have a festival where you could get a little wristband. You could go from each of those places I just named and get into each one of those places. And in between, there could be vendors all over the streets. That could be Fairfield vendors, And then where are people going to stay? That's the second problem we're kind of trying to figure out, is where are all these people going to stay when they move here? hopefully we can have some, like the B&B thing could happen, like that's money in everyone's pocket if they're running a little B&B in their house, besides just sending them to hotels. So hopefully there's ways to get money in the pockets of the everyday person here in town just by doing like festivals that we want to do, here, with the community. So we're trying to build up the community basically. So that's the main thing. The other part, just real quick, that I want to talk about, and I'll kind of pass it over to Jai, is the food and the beverages that we're going to be presenting over here at this place are going to be like all homemade, basically. We're going to be serving both meat and vegan, vegetarian friendly, but the vegetarian, vegan thing that we're going to be creating, I'll pass that over to Jai, will be created in-house, and our beverages will be created in-house as well. So we want to present to people healthy food for you to have that you can enjoy, you can feel good about giving it to your children and not worry about it, and then and actually maybe make you healthier by eating this food and these beverages. So that's like one of the main plans, other than everything else. So yeah, so I'll hand it over to Jai to talk about the product that he's going to be creating over there.
Yeah, so when I was living down in Maui, looking for a job, my first job there was working for Casanova's Italian restaurant in Makawao, being the pizza chef. So we had a wood oven pizza, and but I was always looking for another job just because it was brutally hot in front of that pizza oven on Maui. I would get little things on my back, from pizza oven. So I was always looking for a job, and I saw an ad come up for this startup company there, and it was called Life Foods, and they were looking to hire somebody to help make the tempeh. And I've done a lot of restaurant work. I started doing restaurant work when I was probably 14 or 15. So I've worked my way up, and I wanted to learn something new. I had no clue about tempeh. I've had it before, back in my vegetarian days, but I had the kind of stuff that you get in everybody's that comes in the cold case. It's a pasteurized product. And so it was intriguing, but they paid well, and it was exciting. And so I got the job, and I eventually took over and became the manager of the tempeh department. And so we were growing the business, from that. When I started, our kitchen was really small. And by the time we were done, we had a pretty large kitchen in Kailui. We had a kitchen in Oahu, and we also had a kitchen in Sacramento that I helped facilitate. And so towards the end of it, I was probably producing about 300 to 500 pounds of tempeh per week. And it was great, and I fell in love with tempeh because fresh tempeh is 1,000 times different than the stuff you get in the store. It's mind-boggling different. So it's just a fun process, because you're growing a creature, you're growing a thing, and it turns into food. And it smells really good too. Like when you come in the morning after it's been incubating all night, it's just the smell. It just kind of like it makes your stomach grumble, So yeah, I always thought that tempeh would be a perfect fit for Fairfield. We have a very large vegetarian vegan community here, and even throughout Iowa, Iowa City and Cedar Rapids, with the colleges, So I was like, if I could do this on Maui, if I could be selling, 600 plus pounds of tempeh, the tempeh we were actually selling was probably about 300 pounds a week, and then on top of that was like about 400 pounds going to create veggie burgers. And that was another one of our products. We did a lot of different fermentation products, which would be fun to just kind of little by little introduce into this community as the time goes. But yeah, that's kind of my passion. So being able to bring that to Fairfield is, really exciting.
So I have a real quick question. Are you staging your opening, or are you going to have one massive, just grand opening of all of these things?
We would like to have a grand opening, but the way that it's happening right now, what will probably happen is we'll have the ballroom section to be done first. And that way, because like what I mentioned a while ago is like the second phase of this project is like, where are people going to stay, like temporary housing, so it's like hotels and stuff like that. So we got to kind of figure that out. So we're hoping that once we get the ballroom done, we can invite people in, other investors, because it's really been just one investor working on this project. And we need other investors to then invest in the hotel kind of infrastructure that we want to try to create for the downtown area. So we can then present the ballroom to those people and be like, hey, look at what we're doing. Would you like to invest?
Interesting.
How many people do you think you're going to be employing? It's your goal, and to make an appointment with us.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great question. I can see there being up to like 20 people easily, and then on a night when we have, an event, we could have extra, there could be staff that's like not maybe like permanent, but just like for event staff and stuff like that. So there could be tiers of employment basically, but it would be great to have some permanent staff of about 20 or so, hopefully more.
Will there be ballroom in the ballroom? Will there be dance in the dances?
Yes.
Good.
The floor is, there won't be any permanent seating on our floor, so it'll be an open floor. We will have seats that we could put in there if we needed to. If we were like, oh, we're going to show a movie, or we're just having a presenter, we want people to be able to sit and enjoy the presenter's speech or whatever. We can do that, but it'll be an open floor plan.
You mentioned retail space. Is that on the bottom floor or?
Yeah, retail space will mostly be on the first floor. Yeah.
But there is some, and you'll probably point that out when we go get the tour?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions?
I have a comment. As some people know, I design loudspeakers, not just boxes, but drivers. And the reason I'm excited about this, and he did not brag enough about how great the audio is going to be in this room. It's going to have the best audio system and the best acoustic treatment of any room this size, probably in the whole world. I mean, they are doing amazing things over there. So if you like hearing live music, this is going to be the place to go. It's going to be amazing.
Thank you, John. I'm shy about bragging about it.
That's a pretty resounding endorsement right there. All right, and we've got a couple more questions over here.
It's not really a question, it's just a comment. I think Fairfield has a reputation for having great audiences. And I think that'll be a big draw for your artists. But the idea of a tape, a package thing they can take, a demo tape, that's really big.
Yeah.
Super big. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Cool shirt, by the way.
I just wanted to get an idea of the size of the performance space in terms of audience. It looked like 250, 500.
The fire marshal said between 700 and 900 people. Yeah.
So it's not going to be as large as the Budokan in Japan.
Yeah. But like I said, it's there won't be a bad seat in the house. When you get in there, you'll see it. You'll be like, wow, like no matter where you are in the room, second floor, first floor, third floor, there's even third floor viewing balcony area. It's not a bad seat. And then when you're the artist standing on the stage, it feels like the audience is hugging you because there's wraparound balcony that happens, on the second floor. And it just feels like you're being hugged by the audience. So it's going to be a special space for both audience member and performer.
And this folds nicely in with very strategic goal of the food web, especially if you're able to host some farmers market type products and services over the wintertime, which is always a challenge here in Iowa. So that's pretty cool too. Which, Senator, by the way, was part of the inception of even Traction Thursday, is to start to pull the entrepreneurial community together. One of the long-term goals of our gathering is that food web sort of idea. So, do you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to see if you were going to speak to that about sourcing local.
Yes, we want as much as local as we can possibly get. We've been talking a lot with Tiffany April Rains and the Stimsons, but anyone and everyone else, absolutely, please. And that's another thing actually I forgot to mention is the restaurant. We will have like lunch available to people in the bistro, and then at night we're kind of hoping to keep the restaurant space open and flexible for people in the community who want to do a pop-up idea. For, hey, I've got this ravioli recipe that my grandma used to make, and it's super simple, and I love to make it. But I only want to do it once a month. It's like, well, hey, let's figure it out. Let's like have an Italian night, and then we'll sell tickets to that, and then we make as much as we need, and then we don't have any waste or overhead kind of stuff like that. So we want to do things like that, cater to the community, and maybe have some pop-up things that are super successful. Then we get some new restaurants here in town, because it's like every time we do this, we sell out the tickets. So now we have this new whatever restaurant, so.
All right. Boy, a couple more questions. Here you go.
Thank you. And maybe I missed it, but do you have a target date, or is it somewhat moving, or kind of an idea?
I have to do this, and cross my eyes. We're hoping that by next summer, it'll be all done. Maybe by the end of this fall, we can have the ballroom presentable. But you'll see it's a construction zone in there, and it is dusty. It's going to be like 3 months of dusting alone just to get it ready. So we're going as fast as we can, but it's just taking some time, and we appreciate your patience.
I was fascinated by and realizing that you are addressing the overnight stay issue for people coming in from out of town. And it'll be interesting and great if you can manage a program where in town people who have spare rooms, who have apartments, and just have a total list of them and put people in there. I don't know whether that involves getting into getting people to do Airbnb or not, or whatever, but it would be great if it was locally controlled.
Yeah, I'd love that. I love that idea.
You got a question back here?
Well, I love this idea as a kind of center for festivals.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that idea. I'd love to be a part of that discussion. And so I just wanted to just say that's a wonderful idea that you have there.
Cool, thank you.
Again, another glowing endorsement. I do have a question for you to sort of tie things up. I know afterwards, Stephen and Jai will be giving you a quick tour, so those of you who are interested just to go on over and take a sneak peek, this is a great opportunity to do so. My last question is, how can we help? How can the entrepreneurial community and the rest of Fairfield help? What are some of the things you foresee this group maybe helping as you look ahead?
I see this place as a pool of resources for us. We just need to figure out what it is exactly we need. We're not quite there yet, but I know that we're going to be tapping on almost everybody's shoulder, be like, hey, do you know somebody, or, can you help? So it's like, what specifically right now, I can't say, but we're getting closer to that where we're going to be needing very, very specific help.
I foresee a dusting party.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, everything from like accounting to project management to just general management, all the whole gamut of things, and I'm a firm believer that all jobs are trainable. Just because it's like some of the, we've been talking with people who are we have a team of people who don't live here in Fairfield, and they kind of, I think, doubt the talent and the creativity that we have here in this town a little bit. And I'm like, no. We got people in this town that can fulfill all the roles that this building needs to do, And if we don't, we can train a person from this town to do that job, because anyone can learn a job. You weren't born with that knowledge to do that thing, so train us, we'll do it, we'll run it, and we're going to provide a lot of jobs to local people, hopefully.
Talk about community building. Let's give it up for these two gentlemen. This is great stuff.